A couple students wanted to make blue crystals for a friend's birthday. To do this, they decided to boil down a copper sulfate solution into crystals. However, these students have quite some difficulty following safety regulations.
As you can see, this student is not wearing appropriate attire. She has no apron, safety goggles, or shoes. By the way, chemistry class is not a fashion show.
Here comes Caroline with a copper sulfate, which she is going to measure. In the background, you can see Audrey, who is clearly not on task. Can I remind you, Audrey, no horseplaying during class. Not only was Audrey off task, but Caroline was not paying any attention to her part of the experiment. It is dangerous to pour chemicals. Because of Caroline's mistake, she now has to clean up her mess. Here comes our responsible student, Amalia, who is dressed appropriately and is weighing correctly. After weighing the copper sulfate powder, Leandra is now mixing the powder with water in a glass beaker with a stirring rod. As you can see once again, this student is clearly not wearing appropriate lab attire. Here you can see Leandra holding an evaporating dish, generally used for evaporation. There is also a graduated cylinder used for careful measuring. Lastly, there is a scoopula used to transport chemicals. Here you can see a potentially dangerous situation. Megan is sitting down during an experiment involving a flame. She is also not wearing safety goggles, unlike Leandra, who has learned her lesson. Most importantly, her hair is not tied back and in direct contact with the Bunsen burner.
Having attached the Bunsen burner to the gas nozzle, Leandra is ready to first light the match and only then turn on the gas. If done vice versa, everyone around her is put in danger of a gas explosion. A tripod with a wire gauze on top is where the evaporating dish is being placed to be brought to a boil. Hopefully you can tell that the copper sulfate solution is currently being boiled down to crystals.
Clearly, some irresponsible students left traces of elements on the Bunsen burner, which is causing the flame to turn colors it shouldn't. This responsible student is turning off the gas and then detaching the gas tube as it should be done.
Caroline, clearly off task, is not helping her friends with the experiment, and Leandra is trying to eat the end result of the experiment, something that should never be done in a lab.
After the experiment, you should always rinse the equipment you have used. By rinsing them underwater, you eliminate any excess chemicals, and thereafter placing them gently on the drying rack.